Hello, everyone.
See, no gloves.
Welcome, everybody. Happy hands, right? Happy
Yeah.
hands.
No gloves. Yeah.
Welcome, everyone, to the show, and welcome back, Juno from the Junosphere. I'm so happy to have you back, Juno. Thank you for being with me today.
Oh, Ellie, I just love spending time with you. Thank you so much
Oh,
for inviting me. And I'm getting
oh,
less and less, you know, it's
you're
getting
doing
easier.
really well. No, you're doing really well. Your
No,
confidence
thanks.
level has increased so much, and I'm pleased for you. I really am.
Oh,
So
thanks.
good
It's
for you.
very liberating, I have to say. And,
It
this
is.
is a many past lives kind of thing. This wasn't just this lifetime or just this year. So
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
doing this every now and then. Like, yeah, I had a girl. You did it. You did it.
And there's a lot of people actually that have told me, similar things. And I think we've heard the stories before that people are like, I'm not going on YouTube. I'm not going to show myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And many people, at least you came on and worked into it. You worked with your growth, and you did it even though you weren't showing your face for a long time. But some people, they just keep putting it off. They don't want to do anything. And I understand, because a lot of people also are very introverted.
Oh, I
So
totally get why people don't want to do it. It's a big decision to make, on a lot of
it is.
levels. But
Yeah. Yeah.
then you get to the point where, yeah, well, okay, this is me. You know, Hopefully
Absolutely.
this is a better view than what you imagined from Skeleton Gloves. I don't know. I don't know what to say. But
Well,
and it
your
got to be,
voice is the same, so there you
yeah.
go. So everybody knows it's you. Yeah.
But it was fun to
Sure.
play it out a bit too. I did my best to
Mhm.
be creative with it, but
You
yeah,
did. You
yeah.
did. It was wonderful. Yeah. There was never a question that you weren't totally working on yourself, really, and gaining your confidence, but also your abilities and your knowledge and all that other stuff. So
Well,
anyway,
and I also observed, by not showing myself, but I watched everybody else and how
yeah,
you
true.
conduct yourselves and how, how
Yeah.
to appear or not appear. I don't just mean how much
Yeah,
makeup
I know
and
what you mean.
spackle you
Yeah.
got, but
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it.
and
Yeah.
there's a lot of etiquette to this, and it would be nice if people, I think the majority of our viewers have a sense of etiquette, but there's some that
Uh-huh.
don't, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
too bad.
Well, it is, and there is also a responsibility to ethics, and
Yeah, that's
and which reminds me how much I'd like to that the Kamala Harris detractors say she was a DEI hire, which is absolutely ridiculous, and they don't really understand what DEI is anyway.
exactly.
Not at all. I teach diversity, equity, and inclusion. It's got
Yeah.
nothing to do with the fact that, oh, we have to have a woman or we have to have
A
a black
quota,
woman.
right?
Yeah,
Needed.
yeah. We don't have that. It isn't anything to do. It's accepting us all as the same, which
Yeah,
should
that
have been done
everybody's got the
years
same opportunities and the same
ago.
rights, and
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, but you know
absolutely.
what? They have to have something to say.
Oh, I
And
know.
if that's the
Yeah.
best they got, well, good luck with that.
Well, especially those guys. I don't know. The other thing I heard today, which is important, is J.D. Vance's real name is James David Bowman, and he
Hmm.
doesn't want to be called that. So let's do that. Let's
Yeah.
call him
At our Midas touch, they call him Shady. Shady
Shady,
Vance.
Shady Vance. Oh, that's cute. I like that. Well, say hello to some folks before we get going. We got Janet here, and we have Fatima and Mousy and Butterfly Kisses. Viviani's here. And let's see, Teresa Ford. Hello, dear. Anya Ashdown. And Lottie Hugs from Spirit. I love that. Carl Heese is here. Carolyn Booker. T-Barb. How are you, T-Barb? It's nice to see you. Teresa Ford, introverted. You don't want that much energy coming at you. I get it, Teresa. I get it.
Totally
Yeah,
get it.
I
Yeah,
get it
it's
too.
a decision,
It is a decision, and everybody's is different, so there's no judgment.
Yeah,
Yep.
no
Hi, Liz
judgment.
Reeves and Leah. And let's see who else is snuck in. Mousy, I think I said hi to you. Yeah, Carl. Sherry Laidler. Nice to see you, my dear. Hypnicity is here. Rachel H. Liz says, I just heard it's 10% of the people that make up 100% of the social media.
Oh yeah, I
That's a
believe that.
really good thing to know. Hi, Charlie C. Sage of Fire. Leah says, glad to see you, Juno. I am seeing you weather and sending cool thoughts. Oh, you
Oh,
need it.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Which
you
is
know,
a
it's
good-
not as bad here as it is even up, you know, more northern places and in eastern, because we don't have the humidity as bad. Not saying it's not hot. Plus, we're used to it. Our bodies are adjusted. But thank you for the cool thoughts. I will still take them.
You know, when I was out there in the summer of about 1999, I was more up in Mesa, so it was.
Yeah.
I know it's higher than where you are, but my
It's
AC
lower. It's more north, but it's lower elevation.
lower elevation.
I'm like 3,600 feet or something, and they're real low.
Well, that's good. That would keep it a little bit cooler.
Exactly.
I would think. Yeah,
that's my point. Yeah.
But I remember my AC could not keep up with my with my trailer. It just was, and so that's really, really hard. Yeah. But anyway, all right. Thanks, Hypnicity. Thank you. Yep. You vote your conscience, whatever your conscience is. So we're going to talk a little bit about aging gracefully and accepting it. And Juno asked me, what are we going to talk about? And I don't know why it just came to me. And I think most of us here in the community, I'm going to just put this as a general sense, is over 50. I know there are people younger than that, but let's just say that, or maybe even over 40. How about that? Mm-hmm. But when I was around 29 or 30, my my ex-father-in-law was kicked out of his job at 52. Wow. They said he was too old and he made too much money, and he worked for a corporation. And what they did was they replaced him with two 25-year-olds, basically.
Yeah. But the same money that they paid him, probably.
No, they said, see, we can get 2 for 1.
That's what I mean. They split.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're absolutely right. And he was devastated. And for men, that's even more devastating than I think it is for us women. We're just so unfortunately used to being discriminated against, even though we shouldn't be used to that. But that was a long time ago. That was back in like the 80s. But, you know, we still see it. We saw it with Joe. We see it. Not that I care about the Orange Man, but we see it with a lot of people. And yet at the same time, I also have seen other people who have accepted for me, for instance, I don't really care about I really don't like my wrinkles, but I earned every damn one of them.
That's right.
So that's kind of the way I look at it. It's like, you know, if I'm not going to be 30, I'm not going to be 35. I'm going to be what age I am right now. And I have to like myself for who I am right now.
Yeah. And accept yourself the way you are. And I noticed one of the big things that I noticed after even before I showed my face, but even after that, it's more so that when I go back afterwards and, you know, we're done and I go and I look in the mirror, there's a different person in the mirror than there was, you know, after going through this and being with you guys and all that. It changes you, you know, it's very uplifting. And when you don't go out of the house for years at a time, you don't slather on the makeup, you know what I mean?
Right.
You know, but when you start doing this, okay, I got to spackle up and get ready for a show and pull on my panties and, you know, put some pants on, because
I don't use it. I use no makeup. I might put red on my face, some rouge on my face, but I was never a makeup person, and I'm not anymore. But I can see sometimes that I'm really pale. You know, I know look real. Even though if you saw me in real world, I have a pretty nice tan right now, but you wouldn't know.
Yeah, and there's so much with lighting and stuff too. You know, that's
very true.
A whole different thing.
Yeah, no, that's very true.
Yeah,
but there's once you've accepted it, it's like you can still up here be whatever age you want.
Look at Dick Van Dyke. He's almost 100 years old, and he's still got his, you know, he's got it going on. I always really liked him, and you know, I remember that story of him going. He was on a paddleboard or something off the coast of California and got taken out to sea, and he fell asleep, and the dolphins brought him back in. He actually saved his life. I mean, he's got some good energy going. If he does, doing,
you know, I think he wasn't he just on like he won a Daytime Emmy Award or something for something he did.
Yeah, something. I don't know. Yeah, I saw something.
Yeah.
Good for
him. He's 98 years old. But, you know, if you look at him on Mary Poppins, and that was what, in the 60s?
Yeah, early 60s.
He's got that same energy. Yeah. He absolutely does. Yeah.
Give him a lot of credit.
Yeah. So, Paula, we'll get to your question. I want to just, okay. Thank you so much. I think it's important too, Teresa. That's why I wanted to do it too. And it's interesting because even my own children, who I love dearly, and they don't make fun of my age, don't get me wrong, but they will say, "Oh, he's getting too old to do that," or "Somebody's too old to do that." And I'm like, is it old, or is it the energy is lower, or he can't function as at his optimum, perhaps,
or it
but
can't function like a 20-year-old. You know what I
right,
mean?
right,
Because that's their reality.
correct, yes. I'd like to think that when I was their age, I didn't really look at it that way. But then again, I remember people when my mother, for instance, my mother was my age when she passed, but she had really gray hair. She dressed very matronly. And I guess that was what you did when you were that age at that time. I don't know, now we're keeping the spirit of youth out there, and we are not disposable. Damn it. We are not. As a matter of fact, we're going to stand up as women of all ages, and we're going to demand our rights be heard at this point. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, Leah, I get it totally. Liz, you have to pluck more. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
That's not what it cracks. She's talking about cracks. I can't read a whole lot of that at once, but I read something lately that said, it's good to be a little cracked because that's how you let the light in.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Leah says, I always hope for a hippie commune for aging. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Some of you who wear makeup, that, you probably always have worn makeup. I'm guessing this was something you just enjoyed doing. For me, I never wanted to wear it. I didn't like the way it made my face feel. Now, I'm not saying like if I went to my wedding or the prom or something like that I didn't put some makeup on or whatever. But I have friends that they spend probably half the day putting on fake eyelashes. Go to the grocery store. I think it's a little too much. Hi, Connie. It's good to see you. Yeah, you really wear it, but you carry lip balm. Viviani, yeah, there you go. Love the natural, except I have no eyelashes or eyebrows. Yes. I really, I haven't done it for a long time because of COVID and going out and but I used to have my eyebrows zipped. And I don't mean completely. I just mean underneath because I hated
shaped up, you mean?
Yeah, shaped up. Yeah. Yep. But, I love this. It happens in chunks. The minute that's still good, and the next day, blam. That's pretty funny. That's great.
We're on a roller coaster ride.
I believe Barbara's in her 50s, and she said her family said she was too old to jump on a trampoline. Come on. Oh, wow. Yeah. Yep. Wear leggings that's the other thing I was told. Oh, you shouldn't wear leggings because you're older. Now, I will tell you this is a little over the top, but no judgment, just an interesting aside. I was in a Kohl's store one day and I saw this woman and she had leggings on and a tutu, like a tutu skirt. You know what I mean? Not one from ballet, but just sort of really short. And hair was and earrings. She looked really boho. But she looked actually very young as well. And she turned around, she must have been 80. It was a little over the top for me for that age, but that's her.
But you know what? Good for her to express herself. I love seeing when older women dress funky, however it is that they want to dress. They're just expressing themselves, and as long as it isn't like some things hanging out that really shouldn't have been hanging out many years ago, or certain some parts are better. Better, and just want them all to imagine how lovely we look underneath.
Well, then you get the people that they call the wall Martians.
Yeah.
And they're like in their pajamas or
less. Yeah.
Or less. I saw one where a woman she had a pair of pants, like pants with, what do you call it? Elastic waist, but she had it pulled up over her boobs and she had no top on. She just had it like that.
Well, she was resourceful. She was resourceful. Whoa, I don't know what to say.
Oh my God.
What is that thing? May your coconuts never hang lower than your grass skirt.
all I could think of was if she wanted to reach something on the top shelf,
Oh, yeah.
that things could come down. So
It's like that episode on The Office where that one there was the one woman in the office that was always wearing inappropriate clothes, and she had that same kind of thing. Well, I'll just pull it up over my boobs, and then it was too short, and that it was that same theory.
Same thing. Yeah,
but,
same theory. So I mean, I'd like to say that ageism is aging gracefully is one thing, but losing your class, you know what I mean, like classiness, it's a little bit, it's a little bit something else. Hi, Carol, and hello to all of those who came in. Lori's here, and a few other people have come in, and so Diamond says, hi, Diamond. My dad used to say there's nothing more beautiful than natural no makeup with some lipstick. The rest is war paint. There are some men who don't like it. Yeah. They don't care for it. But
I think sometimes you can use makeup and you look totally natural, you'd have to really pay attention. So it's all how you do, we don't all have to all dress up like drag queens,
No, we don't.
Carol, not that there's anything wrong with that. I mean,
there isn't anything wrong about it. Yeah. Yep.
But I need to do that. I have some castor oil, and I've
heard that it's very, very good for your skin. And I actually have some. You can buy it for like medicinal reasons, but there's also one for like an upper grade one for your skin. The only thing I was concerned about was having a greasy face when I went to bed.
Exactly.
So that was the only thing.
Well, I was thinking about because I'm so sensitive to stuff, and I had gotten some castor oil, and I wanted to use it, but I didn't want to put it right on my face in case because I have all kinds of weird reactions to stuff. And so this was just last week, and I just put it on my forearm, to see. And then of course now my hands got castor oil, my arms got castor oil, and it was a little stickier than I thought. And then it was like I go to wash my hands, and the water's turned off, and it's because they were working on a place next door. Don't tell us that the water's off. So now it's like, okay, now this is why we have those extra bottles of just water filled up, not bottled water, drinking water, but I refill them just to have, because you got to wash your hands or something. But it was like, just a little, all right, this was a test run. What are you going to do when and it was always right then. At least I wasn't in a shower, but
It's funny you mentioned that, because I carry, what is it? This is for my eyeglasses, but you can get these wipes to wipe your hands in the car or something.
Yeah, handy wipe or whatever.
Handy wipe things. And I remember my kids, oh God, mom's got the handy wipe. They'd make fun of me for carrying it. And now I was out somewhere and I didn't have one. And my daughter said, oh, I have one. And she handed it to me.
They figured it out for themselves.
They did. It's sort of like, stupid after all,
Exactly. That we can't when they realize, she's not right next to us today, we'll have to get our own. But I loved on that TV show Monk when he always had to have a wipe he was such a germaphobe. Wipe.
Yeah. And Howie Mandel, I'm sure, because he does. He's very germaphobe too. Anya, I'm glad you brought this up, because I do believe that we all have an age or a feeling in our mind, and we wonder why others can't see that. But we don't feel old. I mean, I'm not saying some days I don't get up and feel 80, because I do. I'm really tired or whatever. But most of the time, my sense of humor and my outlook is younger. So
me too.
You live in your leggings. Well, good for you, girlfriend.
Yeah.
And yes, if anybody hasn't noticed, Cher, what is she, 78? I think, and her boyfriend's like 28. Something like that. Interesting, huh?
Hey, who am I to say?
Yeah. This is funny, Paula. When a friend pointed out her first long whisker on her chin and I saw it, we burst out into... And you know what's really awful is when you find that there's one that's really long, and you should have probably noticed it earlier, you wonder why nobody else told you about it. But you know what? A lot of people don't see it.
Yeah. And then those cricket eyebrows, you get these long, and they're really wiry and long, and it's like, oh my God, when did I turn into an insect?
I know. Age discrimination. Yeah, Walmart is a bug light for the eccentric. It is, Leah. Oh, it's very hard for me. I know that you can go in there sometimes and get good bargains and things like that. But
I rarely
in
go.
general, I don't like going in there. Yeah.
No, I
In
never have,
today's,
and even less today. And it's like that's all there is in this little town
yeah.
is a
Oh,
Walmart,
I
and I
bet.
still don't go there.
Don't, no, I don't blame you. I
Mm-mm.
don't blame you. In today's age, with all the sicknesses, it's a blessing it is a blessing. I always thought, with age comes wisdom and experience and
Mhm.
knowledge. And wisdom is a lot different than just knowledge. Wisdom is having lived it,
Yeah,
having learned and grown from it, and being able to talk about how
yeah.
that, how
It's
that
like putting the
impacted.
knowledge into motion, putting it into effect. It's
Absolutely.
not just knowing stuff,
Yep.
but it's integrating it into your daily
Yep.
routine.
It is. Yep. That's for sure. Um, Oh, Carol, you started using castor oil for pain and it really works. Well,
Good.
I have some. I'm going to just do that. Sherry says, I embrace my age of 67. I don't expect to look like a 30 or 40-year-old. I like to feel young again. I'm grayer and wrinkly, but wiser. Thank you. That's exactly how I feel. It's like,
Yeah.
it was really funny. Talk about ageism. I have a colleague that's exactly 30 years younger than me, was born when I was 30. So she's actually a year younger than my youngest son. But we
Mhm.
all got along really, really well. And we'd laugh and we'd
Mhm.
swear and we'd do all this stuff. Anyway, I went to her wedding just a couple of years ago, but she says, let's go get a pedi. She always invited me to go to the
Yeah.
nail bar and everything. So I got there early and I said to the lady, oh, hi. She said, would you like an appointment? I said, no, no, no. I'm just here to meet my friend, Megan. And
Mhm.
she said, your friend? Your friend? Megan? Really? And I said, yeah. Oh, she thought I was her mother
Mother.
or her
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
aunt,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And Megan comes in, she goes, oh yeah, this is Aley, should we get it? Yeah.
Yeah,
And see, that's the expectation.
exactly.
This old lady
But
couldn't be
they have
friends
it
with.
in defense of the younger people. We don't live in a society that teaches them any different. You know,
That's very true. That's
it's
very true. Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
and even our culture wasn't. When we were growing up, we weren't really taught that a whole lot. I think that
Yeah.
now that you're seeing, for economic reasons, a lot of people are having to be multi-generational within a
Yeah.
household again. I think it's changing some of that dynamic, but
Mhm.
everything
Mhm.
is disposable. I mean, it's not
Yeah,
just older
true.
people. It's almost kind of like anything and everything. There's
Yeah.
such a that short attention span, clickbait,
Yeah.
immediate,
Yeah.
whatever
And the
response.
industry to also the industry for plastic surgery and
Exactly.
Botox and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And like some young people were already getting Botox at like
Yeah.
29
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
It's sad to see that. And I wonder if that's just in reaction to hearing other people pick on older people. Because us women, we're the ones,
Yeah.
we've always kind of been picked on, even as a
Oh, yeah.
young person, that we weren't meeting the criteria of the penthouse
Yeah.
model,
Yeah.
So it's very interesting. Yeah, it's very interesting.
Well, and their lives are no piece of cake. Most of these women
Mhm.
that are exalted like this,
Oh
that
yeah.
are blessed with, beautiful figures and, all that kind of stuff, but it's
Mhm.
not an easy life either. Like, I was thinking I read something recently about Brooke Shields, and how she was treated when
Uh-huh.
she was younger. But when we were young and we thought, oh, how lucky, she's so gorgeous and it's all so easy for her. And, she's
Yeah.
got no problems, but you find out it wasn't that way at all. So,
Yeah.
you love the skin you're in kind of thing.
Yes. Kind of like love the one you're with.
Yeah. And that's who you're with. Who are you with more than yourself all the time?
That's right.
Start with that.
Start with
And
self. Yeah. Start with
yeah,
self. That's really good. I just think it's so important, just to know that it's. I'll give you an example actually of something that I heard from my very best, a good girlfriend that was my age. She had a mother that was very narcissistic, unfortunately, but her mother at age 36, I think it was, committed suicide.
yeah,
And this would have been probably in the 60s or
yeah,
70s. It was that
yeah,
time period because she didn't want to get old.
yeah.
And it just made me so sad. It's like, really? that's you're giving up your vessel. I guess it's just a vessel, and you got what's in here. But you can't help. She probably had some kind of mental health
Well,
issue.
obviously she was.
Yeah. But it really affected my friend. It did.
Oh, of course it did.
Yeah, it was very difficult. Of course, she was a very young girl when her mother died, and her father wasn't the best. So, yeah, really.
I had a friend that I met through Jinshin Jitsu, and she said that I think it was her grandmother used to always say, "Happy, healthy, happy, healthy, happy, healthy, dead." And she died sitting at a family dinner table. Somebody told a joke, and she was laughing her head off, and that was it. Bye-bye.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
think of ways you can adapt that to yourself. How is it that you want to see? I mean, we're all going to face it at some point. I'm not scared of it. I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
whatever.
absolutely. So Leah and hypnicity, yes, it probably was her path or her soul contract. I agree with you. But I remember when I heard it, how it made me feel. It was like, it was almost like her buying completely into the lie.
Yeah.
For me, it was. But I understand now that isn't what it was, really.
Yeah. Well, there's a combination of things, societal things. Remember when Twiggy was the thing, back in the 60s? And that was not a negative name,
No, that's very true. And when I was in high school, I weighed about 115 to 120. Let's say I'm 5'3", and my boyfriend's sisters weighed 98 or 99 pounds, and I was fat. I was called fat.
Yeah,
really bad. Young people are frightened by the advertisers insinuating the signs of aging are bad. It's lucky you have good genes. And we had it too. We absolutely had it as well. And we had that women over 40 didn't get movie star roles, or they didn't get because they were too old. They get the matronly role or whatever it was.
Right.
But
and who was in charge of that? Big white men in the studios. Those are the ones who made those decisions. Those women didn't decide that for themselves and say, "Oh no, I'm over 40. I don't want to be on."
Absolutely.
And now it's so nice to celebrate like Helen Mirren and so many actresses that are and they still got it together, and even the ones who maybe aren't the thinnest, but they're still out there and they're very talented, and and there's all these different roles to play. Not everybody, it's not appropriate to play play within your range, your age range.
Leah, it is Terry Renner's birthday on the 29th, and that would be a good thing to do, a video birthday party for her. That would be, yes. Meryl Streep, Kathy Baker, or Kathy
Bates. No,
Bates. Yes, that woman looked older when she was younger than she looks now.
She did. Yeah. Isn't that funny how it is with some people?
I know. Yeah. I was watching there's a show, I don't know what it's on. It might be on Prime, and it was Faye Dunaway. And she didn't look very good, but she's 80 something years old. And she was such a beautiful woman, but she had a lot of mental illness.
Yeah, I've heard she's not very kind to people.
She isn't. Right. She has like a bipolar personality. Yeah. But,
we tend to look at these people that are, stars in whatever realm they're in, and we think they're totally perfect people, and their home lives are perfect, and everything, and nobody's got it all together. If you've got a talent in one area, then maybe it slips up in some other areas. But
that's right.
I think we're all doing the best we can for the most part. So
we are. No, Mary Starshine, that's Carolyn Booker's birthday, and she's in the chat, I think. So, Terry's is July. They're both Leos, though. Yeah, Sherry, I think so too. Kathy Bates said, "What did I see her in? She was just in something recently, and she looked pretty damn good. I mean, for somebody that looks so matronly earlier. Not that she's that attractive, but it's interesting how that all works. But anyway, men can get away. Actually, men look a lot better when they get older, don't you think?
A lot of them do. Yeah.
A lot of them do. Yeah. A
Yeah,
lot of them do.
it's
Yeah.
funny. And then some
Yeah.
people, like, there's a difference between being beautiful and being attractive, you know.
True.
there's
True.
there's just different levels, and how they'll say like someone is a handsome woman, you know. Some women are more handsome. It doesn't mean they're male looking, but they have a different
Right.
kind of
They have a different energy or a different look.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I agree. I
They're
agree.
attractive
Oh
in
yeah,
different
Betty
ways.
White, awesome all the way.
Oh
She
yeah.
was right up until the end. Yeah.
She was a
Oh,
bitch. When you watch her old stuff, and you know, like Sue Ann
yes.
Nivens, and
Yeah.
I just loved her all the way around.
She was
Loved
wonderful.
her
That's right.
energy. Yeah.
So before we take some questions, thank you for this chat. This has been wonderful. Juno has maybe one or two suggestions that she has looked up about how to facilitate maybe staying young.
Well,
Yeah.
harmonize, you know, and facilitate.
Harmonize.
That's again, this, I'm not a doctor. This is not
No. Yeah.
these are suggestions to help, and this is some simple Jin Shin Jitsu things that you can do. Well, since we're talking about appearance and things like that, there's a natural facelift that you can do in Jin Shin Jitsu, and it's pretty simple. So you just put, okay, so you're touching all your fingers, and then you take your other arm and rest it under your breast across your rib cage.
Okay.
So when you do this after you eat, you do this 5 minutes on one side with this hand, and then you switch your arm and do the other side for 5 minutes. And you could be sitting at a dinner table. You don't even have to tell people what you're doing. You're just gonna, you could be like, oh, I'm interested in your conversation. But this is dealing with stomach flow. Also, you can just go and hold here at the 21s. And this is freedom from mental bondage right here. But this gets in touch with the stomach flow, and the stomach flow, when it the way it moves through the body, it goes up and around the eyes. It pulls all this up with the face. So you can really do a lot to help. And it also helps you adapt to the world as it is and adapt to heat and humidity.
Oh, we could use that today then.
Yeah, I think most of the country can probably use that today. Trying to think. I just want to pick out one other one. And this can also help you with lose weight, because this is helping facilitate this is stomach flow. It's like a shortcut.
Moving along your digestion.
So it helps you digest more effectively. And I was going to show the other one, and this is good for a lot of things, and I've shown it before, but this is Safety Energy Lock 22. I'm just resting my hands here, and Safety Energy Lock 22 means happy and content wherever I am. But this is another one that can help you adapt to things. You know, we're going through such changes on all these different levels, and it's really comforting. And I also, when I refer to this is like my Egyptian mummy one, because most of the mummies, you see them and they've got their arms crossed. You know, absolutely. This is really helping anything with the heart, like, you know, when you're feeling sad or you're, you know. So those are just a couple of things you can do to.
And you know what I'm thinking, Juno? You know how when we're kind of not into something that we cross our arms, you know, that's
exactly.
We're closed off. Instead of doing that, you could always do this. And that's still a protection.
But to do this is another one. And if you are feeling like something's attacking you, or when you say, wow, that really bugs me, you know, that might be bugs like mosquitoes. And you do like I Dream a Genie, and you can either hold it to elbows.
Okay, master.
You can exactly, or you can hold it about a third of the way up, and you'll find a tender spot right there. And this is the high 19. This is the 19. But that's what she did. She generated her own energy, and then she blinked and she manifested something. Yes, but this can help you if you really feel like I need to, you know, reclaim my energy or keep a boundary around myself. This is really effective. And one other one I just want to throw in that's really simple to regenerate. If you gotta get up and get moving again, or people who are sedentary because they need to be for health reasons or whatever, sitting on your hands, palm up or palm down, replicates energetically exercise.
Really?
So, and it helps your brain function. It's another Jin Shin Jitsu thing. You're just jumper cabling.
That's awesome.
But, yeah.
Thank you.
But there's a lot that we, you know, and I had a big experience yesterday, because I've been working a lot behind the scenes, and I created an archetypal tarot. I followed through a book on how to do this, but I've done it in a slide presentation. So I'm going to do readings for people. Well, they'll be able to see it in slides that'll be explaining. So now I've learned how to do a slide presentation on YouTube, and I've learned how to record a video, like to save it and record it. So
Good for
That's a
you.
big step in my next. Now, you know what I mean? Like, it takes a while to learn all this and handle it and do your other life stuff at the same time. So that was a big step forward. So
Sure.
thanks for your patience, everybody.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, it's
Magic eraser.
wonderful. So Diamond said, I'd like a magic eraser to erase a few of the lines. I totally get it. I do. Some days, but then I say, no, I can't say that, because would I go back if I had a magic thing that I could go back? I don't think so. And the reason I don't is I like the world I grew up in and lived in.
That's right.
And I don't really, at this
I
age,
totally agree.
I don't have to deal with all that minutia in the world that I had to. Yeah.
You know, we didn't even have answering machines when I was growing up, you know.
Oh no. Yeah.
Much less a cell phone that you carried around with you, and you're always on a string to somebody. You know?
That's right. Yes. These methods are called Jin Shu Jitsu.
Jin Shin Jitsu.
Jin Shin. So it's JIN SHIN
JYUTSU. Yeah.
Okay.
It's an ancient Japanese healing art, and I've been studying it for over 20 years. And what I love about it, there's so much self-help, the things that we can do. And I'm also certified to work with animals as well as people.
Awesome.
But these are simple things, and I know they sound like, oh, you know, that doesn't really matter. But if you think about, like here with the freedom from mental bondage, if you look at when I learned in the animal class, what did they do with a horse bridle? It goes right across their 21s, and that's how they control where the horse goes. Or kids in school, you know, if they're told, oh, just, you know, sit down and be quiet or whatever, and they'll sit and they'll put their fists on their cheeks. You know, they're wanting freedom from that mental bondage of the teacher that told them, hey, you know, pipe down.
Yeah.
So it's really fun to start looking at the different correlations with all the safety energy locks. And I just posted last week on my community page, there's a chart that shows where all the safety energy locks are in the body. So, but yeah, and I'll be, when I get my next step is I've got to solve a camera problem, and then I can go and do some lives, and then or even recorded, like you were talking about, if people put their questions in the comments or in the community page, and then I can answer questions. So that's where that's my goal, guys. But
good.
You know, everything's going on behind. You know how it is, Aley. There's so much.
I do.
Takes to pull it all off.
Yeah. Sherry says you're very gifted. That's nice. Thank you. That she is very gifted. When she was on last time, we talked a lot about some of the Native American things.
Hiawatha.
Hiawatha, and
you know, he has been with me ever. You triggered
really?
That I don't have any. When I have PTSD anymore, he comes right in and totally wipes it out. When anybody's bothering me, whenever I start to get where I'm starting to absorb and not just observe. He just totally, I've never found this in anything before. So you started that by inviting me on and saying, let's talk Native American. And I said, okay, who wants to come forward? And then it led to that whole thing. It was
there are no accidents, are there? No.
It was, but it's better than any medication or meditation or anything I've ever done. So, and he was the spokesperson. He was a real person that was a spokesperson for the Great Peacemaker. So, you know, he doesn't belong to me. If anybody else wants to talk to Hiawatha, you know, do some research about him and, you know, reach out to him. I highly recommend him. I can't recommend him any higher because it's amazing. It's just been amazing.
That's great.
I'm really grateful. So thank you for that.
So Paula said earlier, if one gets cremated or buried soon after death, is it possible that the soul is still in the body? No. We do leave our souls right away when we pass. But we hang around. The only thing I will tell you is there have been situations in the past where, and actually I've even read about it in the current day in some cases, that people have been either in the mortuary and woken up.
Yeah.
Or before they did embalming and all that, there were people that were buried alive.
Yeah. That's why they had to Saved by the Bell. Yeah.
Saved by the Bell. They put a bell in so that but this was when we didn't have
a lot different
technologies today. But the soul, I would say somebody said the soul hangs around for their funeral and a few other things to make sure everybody's all right, and then they move on. But of course, how do you really know unless you're there? But we do, our soul stays with us. Our bodies are like used cars, we gets rusty and old and falls apart and then
it's just
dies
a
on us.
vessel.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah,
know some Native American tribes, they'll keep the body in their home for 3 days, and somebody's always sitting with the body, and then after that,
right.
because they feel that they're in a sense not necessarily maybe in the body, but they're still around the body. And then in Jinshin Jitsu, the Safety Energy Lock 4, which is if you put your hands on the back of your head and right at the base of your skull where that little soft spot at the occiput, that is the window. And if someone is passing over, if you hold there, that opens the window for their soul to leave. So I was taught in Jinshin Jitsu, this is where the soul enters and leaves the body.
So, yeah.
So that leads me to feel that, yes, it does leave the body. I don't know that. I mean, I think it's a individual thing. I think sometimes
I do too. It's a belief system.
And I think if maybe there's a tragic accident, I think sometimes maybe the soul leaves even before, or in a case of Alzheimer's or something, I think that the body's just kind of there holding, just moving, plugging along, but the soul really isn't there. So I think there's a range, but I don't believe that it's there after you're cremated.
Oh, no, you wouldn't feel that anymore. There's even like in Norwegian countries, I believe, they leave a window open for the soul to leave.
Yeah, there's a lot of cultures.
Yeah, there's a lot of really cool. There's a lot of really cool things. But this brings me back to the aging thing, and it isn't that we have to go into a discussion on death, because I know a lot of people are really uncomfortable about it, and especially about talking about it about themselves. So, but I will say that there are a lot of people who, when someone does pass, are replaced the next day. I remember reading, if you think your job is that important at your company, watch what happens when someone dies and how soon someone is replaced, because everyone is replaceable. And, we don't think that way necessarily in the spiritual community, but there are people that, oh, I want that job. I want that desk. Can I have that desk? Can I have that office? And it's part of the human condition, but it just bothers me so much. Yeah. I can't, what can I say? Sherry, I believe that Juno was married to a Native American.
And my children are half Native. I'll tell you guys what happened. Because it's been a little while. It's like, it's one of those experiences that, do you share it publicly or not? But I've already talked about it with John Binney, so it's out there. But Aley had invited me the last time we were on, and she had said, do something Native American. And so I have this, I asked my crystals or whoever what wants to come forward, and what's over here. What came forward was this flag back here, which is I won't go into the whole story, but this is known as Hiawatha's flag. And it's not the Hiawatha from the poem By the Shores of Gitchigumi. This is an actual Iroquois Confederacy person that actually lived. And I was studying him, researching him, getting ready for the show. And then I went to go down the hall because I take a shower before the show to kind of cleanse. I spin my chakras, talk to my guides. And I was walking down the hall. I went, I wonder if Hiawatha is, and I didn't even finish the thought. And I felt or saw, how you psychically see energy come right down out of the ceiling and right into me. And I was on my hallway's real narrow because it's already narrow, and then I have shelves with my art stuff. So it's and so I just leaned, I couldn't even walk. I just leaned against the wall and I just covered my eyes. I was just overwhelmed by this feeling, this love, and like, I got you, man. I got you, babe. Everything. And I had my PTSD triggered right before that. So I was in that, my body was all over the place. And even a lot of times with PTSD, even if you get the mental part calmed down, the body's still doing its thing. It has to run its course. It totally calmed me down. And ever since then, whenever anything comes along or anything that seems stressful on the news or whatever, and I just call him in and he's just there. So that's still, that's
all
how
you
I
have to really do.
That's how I found him. So he doesn't belong to me, and I'm happy to, happy to spread the word. And I felt like it was his way of thanking me for bringing acknowledgement to who he was and the meaning of the flag. And he was the spokesperson, the great peacemaker in the Iroquois Confederacy, stuttered. And so he ran across and got to know Hiawatha. And then he was so impressed with him that he made Hiawatha his spokesperson. So Hiawatha was the spokesperson for the great peacemaker. And like I said, he was an actual living person. So I'm, encourage you guys to check it out. Yeah.
Yeah. Then this might help you, Sherry.
Yeah.
Asking him to come in.
And
you only have to ask them. And
maybe that's for me. You might find your own. This wasn't like, I've set this. You're always asking for help. Like, I have this checklist. It's only a couple miles long. Will you help me with this and this and this? And then, sometimes I think the energy lines up to they see what you need help with. And when you open up, because what I did is I just opened that channel and said, I wonder if, and it was, I didn't even finish the thought, and he was there.
Yeah.
So
that's cool. That's cool.
So just keep working at it, and another thing that has really helped me get to the point where I can connect better with guides is taking shamanic classes, the shamanic journey classes. The ones with Danny Shea have been just phenomenal.
That's great. That's great.
So I highly recommend doing your, this is all an inside job. All of this stuff, whether we're talking about aging or prejudices or what things that are going on or how or PTSD, everything. I'm not saying, I'm not putting the blame on anybody. I'm saying it's all an inside job, how we process whatever it is, and it's like working our way through stuff. And you know what? And when you even if you just have a little minor a victory, that's something, I carried that box down the hall when my back didn't go out, do the one of these, give yourself an atta girl. I did it, and then you'll start building that, that good feeling. And I think that when you feel better that way and you're more open and you're not just in despair, I think that you're more likely to have a better connection sometimes.
That's very true. And what Eleanor Roosevelt said always it sticks with me. And I'm just paraphrasing here, but basically she's saying, your opinion is none of my business.
Yeah, what you think of me is none of my concern.
Think of me is none of my business.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'd love to just start saying that out loud to people, because we can take things to heart, and
totally.
even insinuations we can take to heart. But we don't need to.
But we don't have to. And nobody makes you feel a certain way. Nobody makes you happy.
Without
nobody
your consent.
makes you sad, And
you have to give your consent.
But our culture has really brought us up to be very codependent. Just think of the music. A lot of the love songs and everything are just so freaking codependent. No wonder we have such a skewed idea of what a relationship should be of all different kinds. So,
if there's one thing I wished I could have lived backwards, I think it would be in the area of relationship, male, female, or female, whatever it is, because I feel like nobody really needs a partner to make themselves whole.
Right, exactly.
But when you're a kid, that's what, if you're, especially when I was growing up, people were getting married out of high school, which is totally crazy. And I remember thinking, I've got to get married, or you're over 25, you could be an old maid, because that's the mentality.
Exactly.
We were it was awful. Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow. So we got 2 questions. We got about 10 minutes left. So Hypnicity wonders if she could hear from her guides. We'll do that. Sure. And then T-Lynn has a question for you, Juno, that we'll get to after that. So,
okay.
All right. Welcome to those of you who came in. And when you leave, I want you to feel younger than you did when you walked in.
That's right.
Right. What do I want to get here? I'm going to use my higher self oracle. I like this.
I've got the Angels and Ancestors deck.
Oh, that's a great deck. Yeah. You would probably like this deck, Juno. This one I found, it's called the Ascension Light Codes deck.
Oh, yeah.
It's channeled from Archangel Raphael, isn't it? And it's gorgeous.
Ooh la la.
Yeah. Master Ascension.
Love that.
I know it. There's so many decks and it's so much money.
Oh yeah, I haven't bought a deck in a long time, and just
Uh-huh.
you know, now I'm paying. I used to have to not pay anything. I had help. You know, that program for internet used to pay nothing, and now it's $100 a month, and it's
Oh yeah.
in order to be able to broadcast without things dipping out and be able to use cameras, and like it takes more than basic internet, you know,
Uh-huh.
to do that. So it's a big crunch on my
Sure.
on my card buying. Not that the
Uh-huh.
card buying is a priority. I've got plenty of cards.
So Jules said laughing might be the secret. I agree with that 100%.
Totally.
It's gonna bring you more lines, but who cares?
Yeah.
You're laughing, you're exercising. And Anya said the trick for her is to not act as young as you feel inside, or you'd get locked up. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
That would
enjoy your age, you know,
Yeah,
embrace your age. I would not want to be
Bella.
younger. You know what I mean? I mean,
Yeah.
I there's little moments in time I would like to go back and revisit, but not enough to change anything.
Uh-huh.
You know, I am what I am. I used to color my hair, and then I gave that up, and
well,
and I don't
it's
mind
all a process. And so the first thing hypnicity I got is you are working hard to overcome your obstacles. They're watching you do it, and they're saying you're doing a good job of it. So don't give up, because especially you are so worthy of the things that you want and deserve. So releasing things that no longer serve you comes to mind. But also categorizing worthiness. You know, you're worthy for the gifts you have. You're worthy for the life you live. You're worthy for the partner you have and for the things you believe in. All of those things. But they're saying just let go. When you're feeling like you don't have the answer, let go. Because it can't come in when you're wanting the answer and you're sort of waiting for it with bated breath. It's got to come in whenever it's ready.
Because when you do that, that's actually resistance. When you want something too much, it creates resistance, and then nothing flows when there's resistance.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Morella. It's nice to see you. Hi, Laura Fahey. Oh, good.
Okay, so I got the first card that I got from the Angels and Ancestors deck for hypnicity is the Air Guardian. Shift your perception. So this goes back to what we were saying about this is an inside job. You know, think whether you're thinking about your age or, you know, can I carry that heavy thing here or there? You know, whatever it is, there's a lot of ways we can shift our perception, and maybe we've got something really big in our lives that's really hard for us to shift our perception on. I think that if you work with some smaller things, then you start to get your psyche used to, okay, I shifted my perception and it was a positive outcome, and it was the change didn't freak me out, you know, and then work up to the big thing that you want to change or see differently, or, you know, have an evolution of it in your life. And then from the Horse with No Name deck, I pulled the Justice card, and I'm going to read it and then I'll pull it up. But it says, the balance between the harsh desert and the life it supports speaks to the Justice card, which is about the cause and effect and the equilibrium found in nature's laws. So this is about finding balance in your life, you know, and I like to say harmony rather than balance, because some, you know, balance, a perfect 50-50 balance is pretty much impossible in our world. And I think having harmony is more important. You know, like sometimes say you're in a marriage, you know, maybe one partner is stronger than the other. That's okay. That's still harmony. You know, they still work that out. So,
yeah, that's great.
Beautiful.
Kind of I love that. All right. So, T. Lynn, I've got your question. I've got Mary Starshine and Sue Toffee. And I'm going to say that that's probably all we're going to be able to do today. I don't know if anybody else posted that I didn't see, but I'd rather not have new postings at this point. But thank you all.
There was a question about cats. Did you get that, about what to do?
I got that. Yeah,
okay.
That's
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, T. Lynn, this is a question for you, Juno. Can you suggest techniques good for legs, circulation, muscles? Doctor once told me, walk, don't lose your butt muscles, the largest butt. Oh, I've just lost mine, and I love it being gone. So it's been following me around for years.
I lost my butt muscles and I found them at the back of my knees, you know?
Right. It's like when your boobs drop all the way down to your through your
yeah.
waist.
Yeah, when you can tuck them in your waistband, you know you got a
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah, I know.
Well, and thanks for the question. So the sitting on your hands, and like I said, palms up or palm down, whatever's comfortable. You can do it laying in bed, do what's comfortable. Don't do it. And if you can only comfortably do one side at a time, do one side at a time. Another thing that really helps to teach people to play around with this, if you make a bridge with your fingertips. Okay, so you can see I'm kind of, you can see making a bridge, and then around that sit bone just on one side, make a circle, like press for a while and then move a little bit and press and make a big circle all around that sit bone with that bridge, and then stop, and then notice the difference in how that hip feels compared to how the other hip feels. And you'll find a real relief in that. So then you can do the other side. That's one thing that'll help. Another thing is putting your hands like they're in your front pants pocket at the crease where the groin is, where the leg meets the torso. This helps anything in the lower body. It opens up the gateway from the upper body to the lower body. And one other thing, especially as we get older, holding the back of your knees. And this helps bladder flow, and the bladder flow runs from head to toe. So this is like the janitor of the body. You know how some women, or even men, they get some kind of congestion, or there's different things that go on. You can palm it or get with the fingertips, however you can do it. If you can't reach and you have somebody who's kind enough to help you, they can hold that for you too. And that can really help anything with the legs.
Yeah. So maybe the mailman takes his lunch. You can go check it and see if he'll help you.
What's he look like?
He might be just the right person to hold the back of your legs. I actually like that idea for urine flow, because when we sit down to pee, we could do it. Exactly. Right there. Yeah.
And then an easier way, you can hold your index finger. That's kidney and bladder. And that's also harmonizes fear. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. All right. So thank you for the question, Dylan. All right. So Mary Starshine, does my spirit guide Silver Bear have a message for me? Ooh, Silver Bear. I love that name.
I have a different deck out here. I want it for that question.
Oh.
And I appreciate the Jin Shin Jitsu questions. I love answering them and bringing that forward. So thanks for the opportunity.
You're the expert.
Well, I'm no expert, but I've just been at it a while.
Yeah, you've been.
I've had wonderful teachers and mentors that and still do, that really guide me.
Wonderful.
And Mary Burmeister herself.
That's true. So, Mary, I get first, isn't it funny, because the word acceptance is in this show title. It says you need to accept yourself just exactly the way you are. And many times we think we are accepting ourselves the way we are, but there's some kind of a blockage. So look at yourself actually in the mirror. This is what I was told. And say to yourself, I love you. You're beautiful. You're smart. You're funny. You're witty, whatever it is. Because we would never say to others what we say to ourselves, even in our own self-talk, because it's too negative. The next thing is they want you to take the next step, and they think the next step is to heal the past, and they're giving you a beautiful ascension card, ancient portal opening, heal the past. So it's moving away from anything that you need to release, that you need to forgive, that especially for yourself and others, and any anger that you may hold in any way. And this is something I'm working on, because we hurt ourselves more when we're angry than we would anybody else or anything else. And this is a work in progress for me. It's shadow work. And so a lot of us are working through some of that in order to lighten up, so to speak, and in this ascension process.
Beautiful messages. For Mary, this is from the Shaman's Dream deck. And I pulled the Eye of the Needle, intentionality. So this is about having really specific focus, right? So, and look at the light that, the more focused you become, the more light that you're going to emanate, and that you can really see through, you have, I'm hearing like eagle eye vision, that you can see things from a distance, and to, and to have your intentionality. And it's a success card. It's a positive card. And then from the Horse with No Name deck, I pulled the Magician. Sorry, guys, I got it. Glasses. No, glasses on, glasses off. Oh, boy. With all the elements of life around him, plants, birds, and rocks and things, the traveler has the tools of the magician at his disposal, ready to harness the power of the desert and manifest his will. So this is that.
So this is based on America's I've been through the desert.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And it's just got the major arcana. But there you are, you know, and look at how similar, you know, that wand he's holding, and there's the eye of the needle right there.
Yeah. Look at that. Gorgeous deck. Yes. Gorgeous.
Yeah, and if you're somebody who does any kind of needlework or something, this might be an encouragement for you to get busy and do something really cool and creative, like outside the box, I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Because look at all the detail in this card. Look at all the different things.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty busy sky there. So.
And the thing that bothers me the most about younger people who are so addicted to their phones is that they look down and they don't notice anything up here. Yeah. And it can happen to us too, but they're more hunched over than we are. Yeah. But just the birds and the clouds and watching. Oh my God, that's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that deck, but it's a really cool deck. But like I said, it's only the major arcana, so it doesn't have the.
Yep. Is there a safety lock for 22 cats I can do to calm my babies? She said she did find a place. 4 cats and I, beautiful, large permaculture share home, art people, gentle energy. Cats and I will be safe and okay to move. That's wonderful. Sue lives.
Excellent.
Yeah, Sue lives down under, and she had to leave. And she's a beautiful cat person. So,
yeah. Hang on, I'm getting something to show you.
Okay.
My little, and don't freak out. I'm not a weird person. I have a cat. You know, these are fake. It's a plastic skeleton, but it's for demonstration purposes for Jin Shin Jitsu. You know, I have a dog, I have a cat. I've got people. But anyway, okay. So here is, you put one hand just between their front legs, okay, and the other hand on the back of their neck, like just below their ears. Kind of hard to hold up and see. So you're just kind of pressing them like that. Very, very comforting for any animals. And this, you know, it will work for dogs, horses, anything you can do. But I had a neighbor where I lived one time, and they had a very lively pit bull. And you know, pit bulls are fine, but you know, you know, I wouldn't run right up and pet one right away.
Yeah.
That I didn't know. But this was a really sweet one, and it was summertime, and I'm wearing a tank top. And I'm sitting on their couch, and their dog was just all over me, and like then it starts trying to lick my armpits, and it's like, all right, boundary time. And so I just peacefully, they were talking, you know, talking to the owners, and I just did this to the dog. The dog laid down and went to sleep. I mean, it went from, you know, what's that deodorant? Oh my God, I love aluminum.
Yeah.
You know?
I get it.
And they're looking at me like, what'd you do to my dog? But it can really help. You know, bring them peace,
bring them peace. That's beautiful. I'm glad you had that. Sherry's here. She says she has a dog skeleton like that, and her brother freaks out the dogs and the cats with it.
Yeah.
Oh, Sherry, you're a riot. Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. Anya, maybe you don't have the answer for this, because I think that supporting kidney function is something that, that's the same
Index
one?
Finger, okay. Kidney function, kidney and bladder, either finger. Okay. So there's 144,000 functions in the human body. Each finger harmonizes 14,400 functions. So it might sound like, oh, she just said, hold your fingers. It's a big deal. This can really, really help kidney function. And you can do either, you know, you can do both of them. You can get in here and you can, I'm putting some pressure on, and you feel, if you find out there's a tender spot anywhere, you know, do all sides, do all around that finger. You find an area of tenderness, that's where the energy is stuck. Okay. Mary would say, muscles don't hurt and bones don't hurt. Tension hurts. So you just kind of, we call it detailing, and you would just hang out there. Oh, there's a little tender spot. So I'm going to hang out there for a little while. You're not hurting yourself, but you're putting tolerable pressure. And then when that releases, then you know, you've harmonized that area. Now you might want to just move like a micro movement and see, and then you go, oh, well, now it's there. You know, it might take a little bit to work at this, especially if you have a stressor that's going on, you know, with your with your kidney function.
Wonderful.
But, yeah, drink lots of water too. That's really important.
Yeah, it is important. All right, Sherry, we will pull one card for you. But we're over our hour, so we're going to go at this point. And everybody's just thanking you so much
for
your wisdom. And and Juno does have, I believe you do have some shows up or some discussions up about Jin.
There's some, it's that whole thing about do you simulcast, do you play things and then you get dinged because it's not original. So but I'm getting to the point where I'm going to be hosting my own, and then I can have more. And I'm also working on classes, but it just takes a lot behind the scenes. But like I said, I'm offering that archetypal tarot now that I've gotten the first run through. I have to do a little editing of it to cut it down a little bit, but that's another thing that I'll be offering for people, and it will be a recorded, and you will also get a copy of the whole slideshow, so you'll have your whole life laid out in slides to see with the tarot cards.
Beautiful.
So,
all right, Sherry. So what I got for you is I have the first card I have is patience, and so we all hate this word. A lot of us do. You don't need to ask for it. You just have to understand that spirit time is the way things work, not the way we want them to work. But they said you do have a gift of vision. So it is very possible that if you call in somebody like Hiawatha, or you call in another ascended master, or anybody to help you and assist you, that you are not going to see an apparition probably, but I think that you will feel it and maybe see it in your mind's eye, and you'll understand that they're with you. You might even feel a hand on the shoulder, so forth.
And ask for validation, later. Because they'll validate.
Yeah, they will validate. That's right. And here it's saying the light codes are coming down for all of us, and it's all about love, self-love, love of community, love of family, love of the Creator. They want us to just really love each other, because we're so stuck in that duality right now. So it isn't just you, my dear. It's all of us, but it also does affect you.
Yeah, it's like we're in an out of balance washing machine right now, like thunk.
The blanket's too big and heavy. Right. Yeah. I do. Yeah.
Or you're washing somebody's sneakers and they're on the same side, whatever. So for Sherry, I pulled card 32, the jeweled web connectivity. So I think that's talking about, in a lot of ways, that's our community. And I don't know if you guys can see that very well. But yeah, really cool. And I know, I think Danny says, we're dancing on the web of creation, and I think of it with the web, when one of us, especially those of us who've been connected for so many years now, I feel like when one of us, we kind of pluck that string, that one strand of the web, and it travels out, and somebody out of the blue will contact you and go, hey, I got a kind of a vibe. Do you need something? Or you everything okay? It's the more we work that muscle and keep that, keep that going. And then the other card I got from the Horse with No Name deck is the Wheel of Fortune. Pardon me again. It says, the changing conditions from the hot sun to the dead riverbed illustrate the Wheel of Fortune, the cyclical nature of life and inevitability of change. So you got a lot of circular kind of cards going on there. So if things have been tough for you, if the Wheel of Fortune, then things are going to improve. I think they're going to improve for all of us pretty soon.
I do too. I think we're going to have more timeline shifts. We're going to have more energy. We got the light codes coming. We just, and again, we don't want to be patient, but we do have to ask, instead of asking for patience, ask for freedom from fear. Yeah. Because we just don't want to live in that fear or anxiety.
Yeah, I refuse. I got to the point where I refuse to let if I'm in fear, I'm giving them that energy and they're feeding off it. And so that was like the biggest motivator for me to go, you cannot, you can't have it.
Yeah. Can't have it. Can't have it. Yeah, it is very tough, Sherry. Yeah, it is. But it's worth the releasing and work.
And it takes a while to get there. Do you know what I mean? Like I've worked at this for a long time on a daily basis, but just keep working at it, and hold your fingers, even if you don't even know what they're for right now. You're really helping yourself and you're helping the whole planet by holding your fingers, especially the middle one. If you're mad, it's the anger one. So.
Oh yeah. Well, thank you, Juno. As always,
My
always
pleasure.
a pleasure to have you on. And thank you, everybody in the chat, including moderators, for being here and adding to the discussion. And remember, we're only as old as we think. So
That's right.
think young. Think young. Yeah.
Thank you. Love you
Absolutely.
guys.
Love you all. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you.